All right, so I'm back again with Mr. Mike Chang. As you guys know, former CEO of SixPackShortcuts.com. Now head honcho coach, trainer, master of everything to do with flow training at flow60.com. Now, Mike, it's really nice to have you here. Actually, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on this particular call was to talk about some of the stuff I've been going through and get some personal coaching from you. And I thought it would be great to just share it with everyone, because a lot of people have this perception of me. I try very hard to keep this persona of me. And I realized that it's actually exhausting me to put all this energy into maintaining this image that I just feel disconnected from, because how I portray myself online is not how I am offline. And there's this gap in between those two people that causes me a lot of suffering, because I suffer myself through that. And recently I've been having a lot of self-doubt creep back in, which I try my hardest to work hard to not let that creep in. So the busier I get, the busier I keep myself, the less doubt creeps in. But recently a lot of doubt's been creeping in, and to the point where I've just felt like I've lost my edge. But I'm back in England now and I'm regaining that again. Because I look back at myself 4 years ago and I'm like, man, where did that guy go? You know, like that guy was so excited about everything in his life. And now I'm just like, nah, that's too much work. That's too much work, you know? So I just wanted to have a discussion with you about that and see if you can point out anything that I'm not seeing.
Nice. Well, first of all, you're in England now. You're not. Are you returning back to Bali?
Yeah, I am. I'm coming back there in a few weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. I'm like, hey, that's like, because I'm in Dubai here, and you're in England. Okay, but we're gonna meet back in Bali.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's happening right now is, like you're saying, you feel you lost your edge, right? So you feel like you're in your head. You're basically, it's not that you feel like you're in your head. You're in your head and you're going, I don't really like this. I don't really feel like doing this. You're questioning things.
Yep.
Right? And you feel like you're kind of like unsure. You're unsure is like, do I really want to do this thing, or do I really get this thing? And this questioning, or it's basically like this, it's not just overthinking. It's like, it's almost like you're really legitimately going, is this the right thing? Is this really what I want? See, this is the issue with people. This is the challenge that most people face. And unless someone, and most people don't want to look at this because this isn't a sexy thing. And when I say it isn't a sexy thing, that means it's not what people want to hear. Right? So for you guys watching this, just warning, this is not what you want to hear. You know, this is behind the veils. This is behind the veils of every person. Like I just spent a lot of time with Master Sri Akashana, and you know, we have completely the same perspective. We act in the same way on this, which is why he can do what he's doing. And so there's people out there that are pursuing their passions or pursuing their purpose. They're working hard, they're on top of it, and they're just staying so motivated. And on the outside, we go, wow, I want to be motivated like that. You know, I want to feel like driven and feel confident about what it is I'm doing. So you look at it and you go, how does he act? He acts confident. I want to be confident. How does he act? He acts like he believes in himself. So I want to believe in myself. But there's something that we don't see that's behind the curtains. And that one thing we don't see is that these people, every one of them, including myself, we don't constantly think about our own preference. We don't constantly consider ourselves. You see, that's not sexy. That's not what people want. What? Don't consider yourself. What do you mean? Everything's about about me. Like this life is about me. My life's about me, right? My passion's about me. My job is about me. My finding the right partner so I can have a great life. Right. Right. You ever heard the line? Um, if you don't want to be like majority of the people, don't think like them. Right. You know that, Aaron. And I think for you guys that are watching, you might have heard that before, right? How come there's only a small percentage of people that are the most successful in the world, that has the most wealth, right? For somebody like you, Aaron, you have the physique that are like less than 1% of the world has. But you, when it comes to physique and body, taking care of your physical body, you don't think like everybody else, which is why you look the way you do and you're strong the way you are, right? So you know that with the physique part. So now when we look at when it comes to like, like life and purpose, it's the same idea, right? And everybody thinks like that. They go, I want to have my own life. I want to be able to do what I like. I want to do what I feel like doing. I want to go and do what I enjoy. I want to be free. Right. So who are you thinking about all the time? Right. You all the
Yep.
time. So now let's just take a moment and look at it. So what what's going to keep you thinking the same way? Or in other words, what prevents you from having a snap of a finger and suddenly going, you know what, I prefer something else? What's going to prevent you from having that? Would anything? You go, you
No.
right? Right? You're in, where are you? In UK?
Yep. London. Yeah.
Right? London, right? So I know you're going to return back to Bali, but let's say you have an awesome experience in London and suddenly you go, yeah, I want to be in London now. What's going to prevent you, right? Didn't even matter if I know you don't have a baby and a family, but even if you had a baby and family, that doesn't prevent you. What, you got a job in Bali, you could just find another one. What's going to prevent you, right? The answer is, well, nothing. It's your life. You can decide whatever you want at any time, right?
Mhm.
So then if we just think about that idea for a sec. So somebody wants to have doubt. They don't want to have doubt. They want to believe. They want to follow their passion. They want to go and have success and all these things. They want to do what it is they want to do. They want to do what they prefer, what they like. But what they like can change at the snap of a finger. And it's that um, lacks foundation. I'm looking for the word. It's not vulnerable, but that's how fast it can change. It really is like that. One moment we can want this, and another moment we can want that. Now, it's not that it's happening like every single day, but this could happen to where 1 month we want this, and then fast forward 6 months later, we want that. Or for you, you said 4 years ago, I was like motivated and excited, and I remember how those times were. And now fast forward 4 years later, I don't feel that same way. I can tell, I can tell I'm not feeling the same way. Right. So it's not like one day and the next day. It could be like, right, 4 years ago, it was like that. And then suddenly you don't realize when it happened, but now it's happening and you feel it and I'm not the same way. So somewhere between right now, 4 years ago, something shifted. So then now imagine we don't have this conversation. You go on thinking the same way. And then fast forward, 2.5 years later, you're feeling, all right, I'm on top of my game now. I feel good. I'm going to go after it. And then you go after it for a couple years. And then before I know it, then you feel the same way. And I don't know if I want to do that anymore. Something's changed. Right. So then this is what happens in people's lives. They go through a time to where they're driven and everything's great. And they go through a time to where there's not. And they go through a time. And it's like always like this. Right. And this is more on just like the bigger picture of their life, right? Like their business, their purpose, what they really want to do. But if we look at it on a daily basis, how often do we see people do that emotionally as well?
Yeah.
On a daily basis, on small increments, right? Take a step back and we look at business and purpose and direction, right? That's like years type of thing. And then we go forward and we look at just on a daily basis and we see the same type of fluctuation, the same pattern, except it's just on a day basis. Emotions go up, emotions go down, right? So if it's happening on a daily, same thing's happening on the large. Same thing's happening on a week. It's always doing this. It's just that the daily stuff, these things aren't big enough to impact it on a large scale, but not just in one day. It takes a little bit of time for these little ones to make a really big ripple. So what's happening is people are always constantly fluctuating. They're always happy about something and they're unhappy about something. They're always liking something, then they don't like something. They're always, I feel I'm feeling great and I love this thing. This is right. And then I don't know if I even feel great about it anymore. I really doubt if I like this. I'm a little bored. I don't really feel. They're always changing. So if we look at anybody who's successful, or if we even think about the idea of like moving forward in success, when we have these doubts and we have this lack, we can't move forward powerfully. Right? So we need to be consistently moving forward, because where we want to go requires constant moving forward. You can't just go to a gym and be gung-ho for 3 months and then afterwards, I'm going to just kind of chill out for another 6 months, right? You know what would happen to your body. You know what would happen, right? If you did the same thing with your diet. You don't. But every day, do you feel exactly like so motivated every single day to go in and get your workout in, right? You and I know this because we're in the same game on that, right? What's the answer?
Just got to get it done. I don't feel motivated. It's just like,
Just get it done because it's needed.
Right.
Right. It's not because you love it every single day. Some days you may not like it. Right. Some days I don't feel like doing it. But you know why you need to do it. And so therefore, don't you let go of your personal preference because you know what's needed. Think about that for a sec. If you just followed your personal preference, based on what you like to do at that moment, you wouldn't go in and go do a workout. You wouldn't go in and go and eat clean all the time. Sometimes you feel like just eating like crap, but you know what it needed. You know what will happen. So you let go of what you like to do and you just focus on the outcome, the actual outcome of it. And you don't focus on the preference, your personal preference on the process.
Yeah, because I know that the result, I know the cost of not doing this action today compounds into something that I don't want down the line. Therefore, I'm going to do it, even though I don't want to do it. Yeah, so I'm clear on the cost of not doing it. It's funny because I when I do calls on enroll people, I get people clear on what's the cost of not continuing to work out consistently and eat the right foods. And they get really clear on what the cost is of not doing that, which makes them take action. So I guess what you're making me realize is the cost of me being in the state that I'm in now is actually contributing to a future that I don't want if I'm continuously feeling like I've lost my edge and all this kind of stuff.
Kind of, but a little bit, a layer deeper.
Okay.
A layer deeper. We're getting there, right? But a layer deeper. So when we look at working out, we know the cost of it, but what's causing us to not want to do it? Like if we look at it and we think, we have to first ask ourselves, what is this that we feel like doing? What do we like to do at this moment? And if every time when we answer that question, what do I like to do at this moment? And right now it's to chill and not go and try to go and squat and sweat and feel burning in my body. That's what I like to do right now. It's just chill, relax, because relaxing feels really good right now, right? So if we listen to what we like to do, we wouldn't go to the gym. We wouldn't go and do a workout. When you're hungry and you're around other people who's eating, as an example, and you see people are eating some really good food, what you would like to do is you want to eat the same thing. And if you only followed what you like to do, you may end up just eating exactly the same thing and then looking exactly like everybody around you. And you don't look like everybody around you. Because I know who a lot of your friends are, and they don't look like you. You know? So you're not eating the same thing all the time. So, but what's happening is you don't listen to just what you like to do every time. You listen to what you need to do. And what you need to do is based on what you have made a decision on. What is it that what is your actual goal? What does he really want to achieve or want to maintain? And I know for you, correct me if I'm wrong, but for you, it's I want to feel strong. I want to be mobile in my body. I want to be able to maintain this phenomenal, just high level physique. That's the goal, and I've got a good physique, but there's more than I can do. And that's my goal. I'm going to continue down that path. And I'm going to let go of the idea of what I like to do every day, what I don't like to do. I'm going to let go of what I feel like doing, what I don't feel like doing. I'm going to let go of all of that. Because if I follow those things, how am I going to get there? I'm not going to feel like doing the things that are going to challenge me. I'm not going to like eating clean all the time, but I don't want to go ahead and gain extra weight, dirty up my system. I know the things I need to eat. So I'm not going to pay attention to my personal preferences. I'm going to instead look at what my goal is, and then I'm going to look at what is needed to be done. And I'm just going to do what's needed. I'm not going to stop thinking about just myself and what I want. I'm going to look at what the goal is. I'm going to create that type of physique. And then you may even go one step further and go, why do I want to have this type of physique? Right? You inspire a lot of people, Aaron, and you change a lot of people's lives. If you didn't have that same physique, if you didn't have the same methodologies that you help your clients with and help your students with, if you didn't have that, you wouldn't be able to help them, and they wouldn't follow you because you'll be more closer to them. But because you don't, but because you do have this physique that you maintain, and that's part of it. I know you enjoy having this physique, but there's a part to where that you are inspiring, you are changing so many people's lives because you look this way, because you feel this way, because you have these things, these structures that allow you to stay in this shape all year long, every year. And because of that, you can help change people's lives and transform their bodies and transform their life. So then when you are doing it, you're not just doing it because I want to look good. You've been looking good for a long time. You're doing it also because you know that if I do this, this is going to help all the people that are looking up to me right now, all the people that follow my work. So you do it, even when you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And that's actually something that someone asked me. They said, that helps you do the work that you don't want to do. But for some people, they need a deeper reason, a deeper why. But a lot of times it's for their kids, or, they want to be their kid's hero. That's a common one, actually. So yeah, that's clear, but still the goal is still about me.
So
right, it's still about me.
It could be. All right, it could be. So then we're diving into a little deeper now, even going deeper. All right, we're just gonna keep going deeper and deeper. Okay. So we're gonna take this example, and then afterwards we're gonna mirror it. Right. First, we're gonna talk about something that you're very familiar with and that you feel very sure on. So this way it all connects. And then we're gonna mirror it to something that you're not as sure on, but then it starts to make more sense. So if we keep going down, yes, it's still all about you. But when you think about it being about you, when you think about it benefiting you, there's 3 levels of mind right now that is thinking, and every level is different from each other. So right now, when we think consciously in our head, our conscious mind, those loud thoughts, right? When it's like an internal dialogue. That's that level 1 mind, a conscious mind. So when we're in our mind consciously and we go, it's about me, it's so I can look good, so this way I can have a great body, so I can be strong, so this way when I'm walking around, everybody stares at me. If I speak like that in my mind, if I focus on that, then it's a lot about just for me. Now, I know that I'm helping people and that, people look up to me and that I have people that that I inspire to transform their body. Yeah, I know it, but I'm focusing on a lot on me. I'm focusing on the way I look constantly, and I'm focusing on how great I look and all these things about me, 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 me. Now, if I was to go and let go of constantly focusing on that, and instead I focus on what the result is if I have this great body. How is someone else going to benefit? So then let's say I focus on how this is going to inspire other people, how this is going to change other people's lives. Does that mean I suddenly don't have a great body? No, my body's still the same. I still look good. Does it mean I suddenly forget how strong I am? How I forget how flexible I am, right? How I forget that I'm part of the 1% in the world, less than the 1% in the world of people look like me? I don't forget. It's not that it's not gonna just blank out, but I'm not focusing on it, right? We know things, but we don't always have to focus on it, right? Just like there's people behind you, but you're not constantly thinking about who's behind me, right? But they're there, right? So same thing, that you have a great body and all of that stuff, but you're focused on serving other people. And when you're focused on serving other people, are you focused on you or are you focused on other people?
Focus on other people.
So if you're focused on other people, is it about, do you think, what is it I like, or do you think, what is it they like?
I think about what they like.
And what they feel like, and what is good for them, and what will help them understand it, and will help them change their life. So now, if you don't feel like doing something because you're kind of low in energy at this moment, but you're not the deciding factor anymore, right? Because if you go, I don't feel like doing it, you don't do it. But then you think for a sec, what do they want? Do you think that suddenly because you don't feel like doing something, that they're not going to want the body anymore? Right? Just because I don't feel like getting up right now and doing my workout, do they want to transform their life? Yes. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do this thing I need to do. I have this thing I can eat that, oh man, this is gonna be so bad for me. And I don't feel like eating clean food right now. But then you think for a sec, do those people want to go ahead and eat clean right now so they can be healthy? Yep. Automatically, that you need to eat healthy right now because you're eating healthy not for you anymore. You're eating healthy for them. See? Now,
that's another thing. So sorry to interrupt. That's another thing actually. As you say that, I'm thinking, yeah, but people just don't want to be healthy, man. I've been doing this for a long time. I mean, I'm speaking to the OG right here of fitness, and I'm curious to get your viewpoint on this. But that's another thing that's been weighing down on me. It's like, man, I have these calls with these people that say they want help, and then they don't want help, and that gets me down as well. Like it plays on a doubt. I'm just like, what's the point? I tell people to eat this food, and they don't eat it. It's like, yeah.
So it's not that they don't want it. It's that they haven't been able to develop a lot of self-control, self-mastery.
Yeah. Right.
That's really it. If everybody innately want exactly the same thing,
True.
right? We all want love, right? We want to feel at peace. We all want to feel accepted. It's like we all want the same thing. We all want to feel a level of comfort, a sense of security. We all want to feel similar things. But if we look at our actions, it's all very different. And we can say, if we look at the actions, and we may forget that we all want the same thing, right? This person doesn't care to eat healthy. In reality, they just don't know how to change their behaviors. They don't know the structure. They don't
Right.
know the system. They don't know the workflows. They don't know the routines. They haven't done it yet. And in reality, they're not supposed to know yet. There's a reason why you and I know this stuff so well when it comes to, let's say, helping people transform their body, right? Because we were supposed to. It was part of our life to know. And now it's part of our life to go and help others with it. And now when we look at our conversation right now, right, and we're talking about purpose, we're talking about deep layers of the mind, right? And same thing. I'm supposed to know this right now. There's a reason why that I went through all the things that I went through. And there's a reason why we're having this conversation now. And the more conversations we have like this, the more you're going to know what it is that I know about the mind and about behaviors and about purpose and about all these other aspects of life as well. And then when you know it, then everything I'm saying will make perfect sense and it'll click. And then guess what you're going to do with the information? And now all these other people that you're connected to is going to know as well.
Yeah.
And so there's a reason why people struggle with their habits, because they were born in families that are different than ours. They have different genetics than ours. Our genetics, everyone, you know about genetics, everybody's genetics are a little bit different, right? There's some people that try to gain weight and they can't gain weight even though they try to constantly eat, and vice versa. Some people don't try to eat a lot and they can't stop putting on weight, right? So this is not just their doings. This is all part of the way they were born. It was all part of their path. So when we look at somebody and they go, I really need your help, we all have these karmic ties with each other. But what we are meant to do as trainers, as coaches, as people that are helping others, we're meant to go and know that if they aren't healthy, if they're struggling, our job is to go ahead and help them. Our job is to go ahead and lift them up. They weren't supposed to be strong. That's why they're coming to us. They didn't have the same opportunities. And I'm talking about deep level. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about genetics. I'm talking about the life that we've lived. They didn't live it. That's why they struggle. But because we lived it, we're able to have the experience, the wisdom to go ahead and inspire them, motivate them, educate them. So whenever somebody comes to you and they tell you they want to be healthy, but then they don't eat healthy, and they tell you they want to be in shape, and then they don't do it, just don't take it personally. Just know that they're trying their best, but they don't have what you have. They didn't go through what you went through, right? And so therefore, let them try their best. This is where us as teachers have patience, right? This is where we develop our patience, where we develop our compassion. And the more patience and compassion that we develop, then somebody falls, we give them a hand and we lift them up. And then they fall down again, we grab them and we lift them back up. And the stronger that we are, the more that we can do this with more people, you know? And then now, what's going to get you to go work out when you don't feel like working out? Because you know that when you are stronger, you can carry so many people on your back. Because that's what you're really doing. You have 20 people that you're supporting and they all go, I want to, but I can't. And you have to go and help them. You have to overcome all the reasons. You have to inspire them. Then you got these 500 people that are like, I want to eat healthy, but I can't get rid of eating this junk food. And you have to go ahead and inspire them, and it takes so much out of you. So the stronger you are, right? The more disciplined you are, the more control you have over yourself, the more you inspire all of these people. So now that becomes an anchored reason for you to go ahead and really go after it for yourself. Then you can help them. So then now in your mind, do you know that by helping them, you benefit? Yeah, right? They're going to pay you. They're going to sign up into your programs. It's an exchange of energy, but you're not focused on it. You know that's part of it, but you're focused on what can I do to serve you better? What can I say that can inspire you more today? Right? You're focused on helping them. And when you're focused on helping them, even though you know that it's going to help you as well, but by focusing, by having the majority of your focus on them, you let go of your personal preferences. You let go of what you feel like doing or don't feel like doing. You let go of what I like or don't like, what I agree with or don't agree with. It's not about you anymore, right? Now it's about them.
Mm.
This is what we call selflessness, being selfless, right? I always think about me. It's all about me. It's all about me looking good, what I get, what I want, what they give me. Selfish. This is also what we call selfish, right? See, so
Mm.
selfless, it's about you. What can I do for you? How can I help you? How can I lift you up? What do you need? What do I do so you can benefit the most? Selfless, right?
Yeah, that's probably the thing. Yeah, that's probably the issue that I'm experiencing is I've gone too selfish, which is why I feel like the way I do. Because
It's
when I
not
focus on
your fault.
others, I feel much better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not your fault because you don't think you're doing something wrong. You're just like, well, this is my life, right? I got to figure out what I want to do. I gotta be aligned with it. So you don't think like you're doing something bad. That's the thing. You know, when someone's like eating donuts, when someone's skipping their workout, they know they're doing something that's not good most of the time. Especially when Aaron is telling them, bro, you need to get up, man, go get your workout done. You know, I don't feel like doing this, so I'm just gonna not do it right now. They know they're doing something bad. You don't even think that because this is not something that is constantly being talked about. So when we think about this idea that I don't think about what I want, it's like the strangest thing. But what happens when we stop focusing on ourselves is we stop creating self problems. So many problems is because we don't like something, because somebody gets on our
Mm.
nerves, because we don't feel like
Mm.
doing this, because we prefer something different. It always starts off with I.
Mm.
I don't like this weather. It's so hot. I don't like the way this place looks. I don't like how these people are acting. I don't like the music in here. Right? I don't like what this food is serving. I don't like how much this thing costs. Everything is my preference, my preference. So what happens is we let go of all of the I preference on everything, I judgment on everything. And then when we let go as much as possible, not 100%, but when we let go of a massive amount, now I stop creating problems. I stop creating inner resistance. You know, you talked about in the beginning of this call, that resistance, that part that's kind of stopping you, right? It's created from you. Right? Now I stop creating it. That's the source. If I let go of all those things, I also let go of creating that resistance, which is what happens when I'm constantly giving my own preference on everything, when I have too many preferences. You see?
Mhm.
Now, think for a
Mm.
sec. What happens when we constantly focusing on serving other people? What happens when we constantly focusing on lifting up as many people as we can, helping them transforming their body, their mind, their health, right? Helping them connect to relationships and love. What happens to our life when that happens?
It gets blessed even more.
Yeah.
Mm.
So isn't that what we all want anyways?
Mm. To have a fuller, richer experience of life.
Yeah. Financial abundant. Do you think you will make tremendously more money if you helped more people, transformed more people's lives, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you think that you're going to create more connections with people? more relationships because you help even more people than you do now,
Mm.
right? People want to have love, right? Think about the amount of love you're going to create when you transform people's husbands and people's wives and you change families. Think about the amount of energy that's going to come back to you. It's not just going to be just money. People go, you changed my entire life. Like you saved our marriage. Like there's no money we can give to you. Like we are in debt to you for life. Anything that you want, what can we do? They are fans, they are for life. They feel so in debt to you because you transform them in that way. Think about the amount of love that's coming from so many people because your focus is to serve them, to help them. And by doing it, you get everything that you want, that everybody wants. Everybody wants these things. And you get all of it.
Mm.
And when you get all of it, you still don't maintain focus on yourself. You still keep the focus on other people. You know that your bank account is increasing in zeros. You know that opportunities are just coming in like waves and tidal waves and more. And you know that people everywhere are praising you and so much love is coming. You know that,
Mm.
but you're not going to derail your focus, right? You're going to focus on other people and you're going to focus on constantly serving them. You're going to constantly wake up in the morning and do your training so you can maintain the physique to keep them inspired. You're going to keep looking for ways to go ahead and help them to do workouts easier, make the workouts more effective. You're going to find different ways to help them to be able to understand why they need to eat cleaner. You set up systems, set up workflows. You're going to find tools to help them be able to create a better life. You're going to constantly focus on doing that. And constantly, every part of your life is going to continuously rise. And you will still not focus on those things. Because when you focus on those things, you kill the golden goose. You start to suffocate it. So you keep focusing on serving, and the eggs keep pouring in. And you have a stack pile of eggs, and you know they're there, but you're not focused on it.
Yeah, that's how I started out. I was exactly like that. But then along the way, I kind of lost that focus. Yeah, that's what it was, the focus. And I started focusing more on me and, oh, what am I getting out of this? Instead of focusing on them.
Yeah, you see,
And being
like,
more selfless and just, yeah.
see, for somebody like you, like you're a coach, you transform people's lives. So sometimes you just, once I point this out, you go, yep, click, 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 click. It all makes sense, right? If anybody who's watching this later on, they may go, okay, but what about like, but I feel like I need to focus on me. You know, it's like, yeah, I understand the concept now, right? Like I can see, but I can't help. Like, how can I create that? Because I feel like I keep focusing on me all the time. Like I can't stop. Like it's like because I need it. If not, like I don't feel good. You know, like I don't feel good if I don't focus on me. Right? That would happen. So for anybody that is watching this, that is running into that issue, the, what you need to do, what's actually happening is that they're in a state of lack. They are in such states of lack that they have to focus on themselves. It's like you have to at least get up to a certain state to where you feel a little more fulfilled. You feel a little more at peace before you can go, all right, I'm going to focus now everything on somebody else, right? On these people and serving more people. Because if somebody is in a really big state of lack, they're dealing with a lot of fear, then they can't make this switch like what we're talking about. You see? So they have to get rid of the fear. They have to let go of some lack so they can rise up. Once they get to a certain level, then at this level, they can apply what it is that we're talking about. And when they apply what we're talking about, then there's a lot of other stuff to dive into. Right? So this is where This is where I do one-on-ones, this is where I do group coaching, so we can dive into these things. So right now, what we're talking about is just like that surface layer, right?
Mm.
So that's the thing for somebody who feels like they're struggling to do what it is that we're talking about. They're just having to let go of fear. They have to let go of a certain amount. They don't need to let go of all of it. It's not like it's not like I don't have any fear at all. It's like, yeah, I can feel it once in a while, but it doesn't come up very often. But when somebody is dealing with a lot of fear, their first step is not to do what it is that we're talking about, because we're having this session. So I'm like, okay, I know you, Aaron. So here's what you need to hear. But if it was somebody else and they tell me there is a lot of, they're in a lot of lack, I can tell, or they're in a lot of fear, then their step is not to apply what we're talking about. Their step is then I will show them how to go ahead and let go of fear in their body and how to let go of the fear in their mind. So imagine their fear is like up to here, but they need to get their fear to here, right? So this way they can go and execute the things we're talking about, right? So, and not having fear is like all the way down, like this is like the baseline. But even if fear is at here, they can start to do what it is we're talking. But if you're here, you can't. There's too much fear. So that means you're always worried about yourself. You're always worried about how does this person think about me? Is this person staring at me? They're always so self-conscious. You're not there. You're not like that. But maybe there are people that you're currently helping, and maybe they're watching this. Maybe they're like that. So it's very important, right? It's that different people, they're at different stages, and at a certain stage, there's certain things that are good for them, just like with fitness, right? So that's something I wanted to add in.
Mm. Yeah, the confidence level. I think it's about confidence, right? So it's funny because when you do the things that fill your cup up, you have more confidence. So, for example, this idea to do what we're doing now came from as a result of one of the workouts that I did. And I was like, oh, let me message Mike and reach out for some help. And then we can record it. And so it can be value as well for the audience. Um, and yeah, that's the thing, right? Like filling my cup up. If I didn't do that workout that day, I probably wouldn't have had the idea and we wouldn't be here right now. And also another thing is the willingness to open up. So 4 years ago, I probably wouldn't have reached out to you for help because, well, if I knew you 4 years ago, I didn't know you 4 years ago, but I probably would have had too big of an ego to reach out to you. It's like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. And I think that's also I wanted to add that in because reaching out to your network to connect, and when you're not doing so well, so for example, this call right now, like I'm just reaching out to you, like, hey man, feeling a bit down sometimes, you know, and I just want to talk to you and see what you had to say, and like now I'm feeling better. I'm feeling re-inspired is the word I'd say. Yeah.
Nice.
So thanks.
Yeah, it's our tribe, man, right? Our who we surround ourselves with, makes a huge difference, right?
Mm,
Because we're friends, so you can just call me up, right? Just send me a message, and then we're chatting.
mm.
And
Yeah.
sometimes when we think about somebody else, sometimes people don't have people to reach out to, right?
Mm,
So yeah, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. Something that we do, like, because I know, like, students of mine, it's the same thing. Like, they don't have someone to reach out to a lot of times. Like, their family, their friends, they have
mm,
kind of like the same mindset, and they need to get connected to people that can have a different perspective of things, have just a different perspective of health, different perspective of purpose, of relationship, of business. If somebody goes, man, I'm dealing with money struggles, right? I need to, how do I shift it? They can't ask their friends because their friends are all making the same amount. And if they don't have that circle, they don't know what to do. Like something we do is we have a whole community where everybody's plugged in, and then myself is part of it, and so yeah, stuff like that, man. This way people have the right tools and resources. That's really what it is. I just did an event
yeah.
just yesterday on it. I was just talking about that. That's like the
Mm,
shortcut. That's like you can either take so much time to figure it out for yourself, or if you got the right network, if you're connected to the right people, if you're part of the right groups, you just simply reach out. It takes little effort, and then you get the answer that you need. And then that gets saved for some people months and years, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. It's so powerful. And yeah, the one of my friends I met, well, I met him. I was doing summer camp when I was about 18 years old. So that's like what, 10, 13 years ago. And he enrolled in your program. He still follows me on Instagram. And I put out the offer a few months ago, and he enrolled. And I spoke with him about his experience, and he was like, "Man, if I didn't know you, I would never have joined Mike's program." And I was taken aback by that, because he's the kind of guy that if you told me he would join your program, I'd be like, that guy is not going to do it. But he did it because he needed a coach. And he said, I've never meditated in my life, and it was a struggle for me, but I realized that I needed to do it. And the training that you provide people with, and not just the physical training, but the mental training as well, really helped him. And yeah, it just made, I knew that was going to happen. Like anyone that joins your program, I know that's what they're going to get, like very high level coaching and exactly what they need, which is something I've learned from you. You say that a lot, like what you need. You say only tense what is needed, right? And only do what is needed. You don't have to do anything, but just do what you need to do. And that whole message and that ideology, the philosophy that you have on life, how it affects other people. I mean, how it's affected me just personally, like we've done a few interviews already, but this one is a more personal, I guess, because I'm talking about my own stuff. And I guess people watching this can see how we all struggle. Like I know my persona online, I look at myself online and my videos, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really sharing much of the bad side, the struggle. I'm sharing like all the good stuff, but not many people see that I actually struggle too. And I'm not anyone different than anyone else. I guess some people are better at hiding their stuff than others. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well, I'm really glad we had this call. Yeah, and I hope this goes out to, to the people that need to hear it.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
for anybody that's interested, if you guys want to learn more on these things, um, you can go to my site flow60.com, and just so you know, like these programs that I do, there's different components of it. The idea of it is we want to be able to help somebody master their life, but their life involves around, like what we talked about on this call, of getting to a certain place within themselves to where they let go of the fear and stress and the worry, so this way they can start to follow their passions, serve people, do the right things. So we're covering body, we're covering mind, we're covering emotions. um, and we always start off with like a interview, because I want to make sure that the right people will join in. So
Mm.
if the interview, if they pass it, um, and I know that they're serious or committed, like, we're going to talk about what their goals are, things like that. But if everything looks good, then we get them enrolled, then we get them set up. So it's a special group. That's where everybody that's in the program, everybody that's in the community, every one of them went through this interview. Every one of them went through this filtering, hand selected system. So that's why when somebody's part of the community, it's awesome, right? Because everybody's like really positive. Everybody's, they're working on something, but they're all like-minded people. Everybody knows that they're there to go ahead and become like the best versions of themselves. So it's really awesome. So yeah, anybody who's interested, just reach out.
Mm. Yeah, it's so powerful to be part of the community, and just having a coach, like having someone there that you can message and talk to. And yeah, can you still hear me?
Yeah,
Am I
I
still
can.
there? Oh yeah. Yeah, just being plugged into positive messages on a consistent basis. It's so underrated. Like I meant back here in England, I'm just like, it's crazy, man. Like Bali's such a bubble, you know, and we're just surrounded with good people. Like I met you in Bali, and there's so many amazing people there. And there's amazing people everywhere, right? But Bali's such a small, concentrated area. And being back in London, you know, in the quote unquote real world, you realize like, man, there's so many people about, but everyone's just in their own world and focused on them, like we were talking about on this call. So to be plugged into a community that actually cares about you and everyone's going in the same direction, you know, trying to improve their life and actually putting in the work to do it, not just talking about it. That's priceless in my opinion. So yeah, I just wanted to share that for anyone listening, anyone watching, because you know, time goes on, whether you like it or not. Time's going to pass, and it's like, what are you doing with that time? And this is something that I'm realizing too. I'm 33 years old right now. I'm like, okay, in well, 6 years I'll be 40. Like that 6 years is going to pass, whether I like it or not. What am I going to do in that time to be where I want to be with my life? And you know, focusing on, if I'm always feeling like down every day, I'm not going to do the things that I need to do. Then so I need to be focusing on that now and focusing on the habits, the systems to create the results, rather than just focusing on the results. Because if you just focus on the results, then you won't do it, because you'll be attached to the result and you won't commit long enough to get the result, right? So it's like a
Yeah.
catch-22 situation.
Yeah. I think
Mm.
also leave the last message here, for for this call. I would say that people, when they listen to sessions like this and they watch videos, they get inspired for this short period. But what happens there is that there's still a program that's running in their mind. And this program of doubt, this program of, but I don't know if it would work for me. Can I do it? This program of, well, I don't know what's gonna happen. This is new for me. Or it didn't work out before. This program is what stops people. It's what stops people
Yeah.
from getting out of that rut. It's what stops people from like moving forward. And there is one thing that is the most important thing to take action on. It's don't listen to that voice. Don't listen to that voice. When that voice is coming on, here's what I want people to do. I want people to pay attention to what it is that they really want. Number one, what is their goal? What do they really want to happen? Whether it's like, I want to build a great body, whether it's I need to go and make more money, I want to have more energy and change my life around, whatever that goal is, I want them to focus on the goal, number one, and realize what that is. Number two, realize that people accomplish their goal not because they feel good and that they overcame their doubts, that they became confident. That's why they accomplished their goals, that they let go of fears. That's why they accomplished their goals. That is the facade. In real life, what actually happens is that people move forward and they take action while they are afraid. People take action while they feel lack. People take action while they are not confident, but they still take action. That's the real life thing. People think it's the other way around. They look on the outside,
Mm.
they go, wow, this person's got to be so confident. Nope, they're not. No, in their head, they're having doubts about themselves right now, right? But you can't see it. You look at them and everything looks great. They're smiling on camera. No, they're scared, but they're still doing it, you see.
Mm.
And that's and I want people that's watching to really get that down, right? Like take notes, like write that down, write that really big. I need to move forward even if I am afraid, you know. I need to move forward
Mm.
even if I am afraid. When people can really act on that, then they start to realize it's not about feeling ready before moving forward. Nobody's ever ready, right? It's really about moving forward and dragging that heavy ass fear behind you and dragging this anxiousness and having anxiety cling onto your back and still moving forward. And yes, you probably can't move
Mm.
forward as fast as somebody who doesn't have all this stuff that's hanging on them. So you move forward a little slower, but you're still taking a step forward, right? You're still getting in that one workout in. You're still talking to that right person to get you in the right group, to get you in the right programs, to get you in the right influence. It's still a step forward. And that's the important thing. That's what gets people to really start to make change. And then every step that they're taking forward, those fears and the anxieties and the worries start to fall off a little by little until eventually it's not hang on anymore. And for those that have a little bit hang on, a person has become so strong, they don't even feel it. It's not even bothering them. Nobody can ever see it. They don't even feel it. Never even knew it was there. They are so strong. Their momentum is going so fast. It's like now nothing can even stop it, right? Like a freight train that's just going at 500 miles an hour. It's so fast. You can't even stop this thing. But it takes that one first step. Right? Those first few steps is slow because it's just getting started. That's the message that I want to send out to people, is that it's going to start off a little slow because you're having all this fear hang on to it. You got to keep moving forward and do the right stuff. That's the key. That could be epiphany shift for some people, thinking that they need to feel good and feel ready. Don't feel ready. It's not about feeling ready. It's about A, what do I need to do? B, I'm going to drag all that heavy ass fear behind me and I'm going to move forward now with fear. I'm going to move forward with stress, with worry, with anxiety. I'm going to take a step forward with all of it. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. And whatever that next step is, if somebody doesn't know what to do, then the next step is go ahead and learn what you need to do. If somebody knows what to do, then you go do it. If somebody's watching this to go, man, all right, my next step is I need to go and learn all this stuff. Like, okay, well, that's a step forward. Because if you don't know these things, then you don't have that mental program, right? You don't have that influence. Then it's like, okay, then go learn these things, right? But no matter what, you got to do something different than what you're doing now. And that doing something different is taking that next step, even with the fear and stress and all of that emotions.
Yeah, and as you're saying that, I'm thinking some people can get stuck in the knowledge phase as a result of the fear. The fear will keep them to learn more. I need to learn more. That was my story for a long time. I need to learn more.
Yeah. Yeah, learning is it's a step of the process, but somebody when somebody's learned enough, how do we know what's enough? When someone learned enough, that means they can do step 2. Some people go, I want to learn from step 2 to step 10 before I take step 2. I'm at step 1, which is I'm learning, and now I want to learn all the way to step 10 so I can take step 2. It's gonna take forever. They don't even move forward. It's not even relevant by the time they get to step 5. It's not even relevant. I think the markets change, people change, technology changed already. It's not even relevant, right? So they just need to learn just enough to go to step 2, and then when they're at step 2, they just need to learn just enough for step 3, right? They can have an idea,
right?
I have a timer going off. Yeah, I got a timer going off. Looks like I got a meeting coming up.
Time up.
Yeah, time up.
Yep.
So I'm gonna wrap up that last thing, right? Learn the next step. That's all you need to learn. You don't need to learn all the steps because that's gonna take forever. Learn the next step, move forward. Right? That's it. Learn the next step and move forward. This way, a person's focused more on action instead of just the information.
And then the next step, adding to that, would be to go ahead and sign up for your next program coming up in the next few days. Well, depending on when this goes out. So yeah, we'll get this out ASAP, and then people can go ahead and sign up. Put the links below. And Mike, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and thank you for the help as a friend. That was really. I'm gonna watch this again and again and just take down the notes and apply it to my life. More importantly, so thank you for that.
Thank you, Aaron. And only if they pass the interview, yes, anybody that's interested, sign up, go to flow60.com and sign up, but only if they pass the interview, because I want people that I want to make sure that people know exactly what they're going to be getting into. So if they pass the interview, then they'll get in. But I want everybody, if somebody is interested, sign up and check it out. You know. So, all right, man.
Awesome.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good day. Bye.